So this could change as of tomorrow because wrestling right now is absolutely crazy, but the rumour and speculation is that after WrestleMania, Drew McIntyre will not be contracted by WWE anymore, and currently he hasn't signed a new one. This is good for Drew. It means he's about to get all the money, and he rules. That also means if he is keen to have a discussion with other people, I tell you this, Drew McIntyre should sign with AEW. Why? Here's why. The first answer to this is really obvious. It's Drew flipping McIntyre. He is a proper current day main eventer. So if he popped up in any other promotion, all the fans would fall on the floor going, oh my gosh, it's the Scottish Warrior. I can't believe it. And you shouldn't believe it. It's one of those amazing moments. And as I always say on videos like this, Drew should do whatever the hell Drew wants to do. But as a man who is a big fan of chaos, I just want to see wrestlers jump ship all of the time. And if McIntyre did do this, this would be my face. There is some logic to this as well, because Drew had that amazing heel turn in 2023, so you could make the argument that right now he is higher than he ever has been. And when you do decide to go to a different company, when you have all that jazz going on, just think of all the noise that it would create. That their internet especially would have a proper meltdown. And we all know that does happen because there was Bryan Danielson and Adam Cole that went to AEW, and when Cody went to WWE, nobody could talk about anything else. And more recently, Jade Cargill has gone to WWE, and I shouldn't say this because it's absolutely going to be sorted out soon, but everyone keeps asking the question, what about Mercedes Moné? This is one of the major reasons I'm so happy that competition is back too, because it just creates this amazing vacuum, and you can stand in it and just have a good time. That's the point with fans. Don't do this. I think it's quite clear as well that McIntyre feels like he belongs at the top of the card, which is true. But now when you survey the land in WWE, well, maybe there's but a few obstacles. Because he hasn't been able to get his hands on the World Heavyweight Championship. Kind of feels like he's done with Roman Reigns. And now you have CM Punk back in the mix. Now that doesn't diminish Drew at all, and he still has that aura to him. But if he genuinely wants to be a face of the company kind of a dude, well, maybe, just maybe, he would be able to do that better in AEW. I'm just saying. And that's not to say he won't be a big deal under Triple H, because he absolutely will be. But this does kind of feel like the guy that All Elite Wrestling would need right now, which could potentially mean he gets to call his own shots. And having all of this fire behind him too will make him feel gargantuan. And of course, when he walks in the door, he should go after the AEW World title. I mean, what would you have him do? Go after the Ring of Honor tag team titles? Of course you would, because you're that guy. It doesn't even matter who the champion is either. I mean, let's say that it's a few months in the future and MJF is back and he's got the belt again. We know that would rule. And if it's still Samoa Joe, well, I have evidence of this. These two could cook. I mean, just imagine Adam Cole somehow gets his hand on that thing and we do Adam Cole versus Drew McIntyre. I mean, it would be kind of confusing because they look the same. But don't worry about that, just enjoy the wrestling. We also know that McIntyre is not adverse on betting on himself because he did that years ago, and what did WWE do? They went, oh man, we've made a terrible mistake, and they hired him back. So if he does have that same feeling in his tum-tum, well, maybe he's going to do it again. I mean, it kind of worked out okay first time. And it was slightly different because when he was let go back then, we didn't have an alternative company. But surely that just means his opportunities has multiplied and that he can sit down with both and go, hey man, you better make me an offer I can't refuse. He doesn't talk like that. Well, I really don't want to encroach too much on his personal life either because I don't think that's a cool thing to do. There was some chatter out there recently that the promo he cut on Seth Rollins recently, well, maybe it was actually kind of true. Because he has missed all these family occasions, and apparently he did go home to Scotland and realise, oh my gosh, my dad is getting so old. So maybe he does want a reduced schedule, and when it comes to that, well, there's no ifs, buts, or maybes about it. AEW just runs less shows than WWE. It's a huge feather in their cap as well, because it means they can pay stars all of this money, but also not requires them as much. So if you are Drew McIntyre, and you have put all these years into being a wrestler, and you know you can make millions of dollars, but also go back to Scotland a lot, well, maybe that sounds faboo right now. I mean, it's basically what Will Ospreay is going to do. Why can't you do it again? And surely Drew knows how much Tony Khan would respect him as well, because look at his CV. I mean, he has main evented WrestleManias, he has main evented pay-per-views, he has been a world champion a couple of times, and he's won the Royal Rumble. So if you were going to hire him based on what he has done, you wouldn't even need to talk to him. You just look at that piece of paper and go, you're in. What? He's also had an impeccable 2023 and also shifted his character. And look at all these matches that are ready to go day one. Kenny Omega, Eddie Kingston, Jon Moxley, Hangman Adam Page, Swerve Strickland, Penta, Phoenix, and even someone like Orange Cassidy. I don't know why I want that match so much, but I absolutely do. I think they would create something amazing. But ultimately, whatever Drew decides to do, he's still going to be a massive success. But we've seen how much this noise can create extra star power. And so far, no matter who has crossed the streams, has come out the other side, all the better for it. And actually, from WWE to AEW, I think he's the biggest one. I mean, he's at his peak right now. I'd have to read the story 92 times. I wouldn't believe it. This is pure speculation on my part too, but maybe Drew did see CM Punk just waltz back in there after all the trouble he's caused, kind of be put in a position higher than him, and think to himself, well, that sort of sucks. What am I meant to do? I tell you what you can do, Drew. You can leave and go to AEW and be like, haha, you shouldn't have done it. If you did put a gun to my head, which I would ask you not to do, I do actually think that Drew McIntyre will stay with WWE, but we do have a massive WrestleMania coming up. I mean, it's WrestleMania 40, and even though the news is saying his contract isn't up until post-April, he's gonna maybe want to see where he is on that card, because if it's not to his liking, well, you can figure it out. But I still have this feeling in my Tootsie Toes that it is going to be Drew McIntyre versus Sami Zayn, which I'm totally up for. But if he puts Sam over clean, we'll once again get to that nodding. And of course, Tony Khan would want him, and he's probably looking into his budget right now. And don't come in my house and start doing AEW has too many wrestlers. I mean, there is an argument for that, but you don't say no to a Drew McIntyre. That's like saying no to an ice cream on a hot day. You take that damn thing and you stick it up your ass. Or eat it. Whatever you want. It's certainly one that I'm going to keep my eye on though, and there is a pitch to make to Drew McIntyre here. You can be like, hey, we're here right now, Drew, but with you, I think we move up a few notches, and also we're going to throw a bunch of money at you and basically make you the greatest person in the company. He is a human being. We all enjoy having our egos rubbed. Let's see what happens. Now, more importantly than all of that, you know there's a comment box down there, so you have to answer these 3 questions. 1. Will Drew McIntyre stay with WWE? 2. Will Drew McIntyre go to AEW? Or 3. Will Drew McIntyre decide he wants a break from wrestling entirely? You don't know, man. You don't know what's going on with someone's head. So be nice to everyone and treat them with respect. Like the video, share the video, and subscribe. But more importantly, keep enjoying wrestling. Have a terrific day. Walk around with a smile on your face or shed a tear. We have tears for a reason. Never forget that. Thanks for tuning in, my friends. Goodbye.
One of the only professional wrestling podcasts that's actually worth it.
If we can make one of the best wrestlers in the world say that just by listening to our podcast, what happens when we do this?
Judgment Day.
Yeah.
Yahoo! Mountain Dew!
Why don't you get some sleep and wake up?
Because he's a terrible person who resigned in disgrace.
Is it door? Or is the answer no door? Yeah! What up, turds?
None of you say.
It's either door or no door. What is it? Door, no door, or is it door?
What do you make of the night? That's another satisfied customer.